MINSITTHAR has long been on the fringes of the meta, usually existing as an excellent counterpick to dash heroes thanks to his ult. However, with Flicker being a staple choice for so many squishy heroes, MINSITTHAR can actually be used frequently if we can craft a strong build for him. And today, I'm going to share with you the build that I found to be extremely powerful for MINSITTHAR, as well as sharing tips on how to play him. To start, we're going to be using the recently buffed Fighter Emblem that now gives 10% hybrid lifesteal. This means that we can self-heal from basic attacks and skills. And this includes our second skill, which is our main damage skill. You'll see how insanely effective this is throughout this match. Fighter Emblem also gives 22 physical attack to boost our damage, and 8 hybrid defense for some early tankiness.
Behind my shield!
It's extremely important to understand how MINSITTHAR's passive works if you want to master him. Each time any of our attacks hit an enemy hero, it applies a stack of our passive onto that enemy. You can see the number of stacks above the enemy's HP bar, and there can be a maximum of 5 stacks. Our next attack on an enemy with 5 stacks will stun that enemy, dealing damage to that enemy and healing us. This passive is extremely important, especially during the laning phase, since it deals good damage and heals us so we can sustain in the lane. You'll see how often I try to activate this passive to poke and heal, even if I need to use basic attacks to get the stacks. However, you should also know that after triggering the passive, there's a 6-second cooldown before you can trigger it again on the same enemy, so you can't just spam this on the same enemy. Remember to always keep your eyes on the map and see what's happening. This is how I know to rotate to the enemy purple buff, since many players are gathered there.
They will regret this. A call from I shall always stand my ground.
For my early items, I'll usually get tier 1 boots first, as mobility is important to track the enemy when we're using second skill. Then I'll usually go straight for swift crossbow to improve my attack speed, so we can improve our chances of triggering our passive successfully. Next, I'll usually go for either tough boots or warrior boots depending on the enemy threats. In this match, there's only one magic damage dealer in Chang'e, so tough boots isn't the most optimal, even though it can reduce CC duration. Warrior boots helps tank more damage from 4 of the 5 enemies since they're all physical, which is why I'm going with it for this match. After the tier 2 boots, I'll complete Corrosion Scythe next. It gives the highest attack speed in the game, improving our overall DPS. One thing to note about MINSITTHAR is that his second skill and ult are both able to trigger attack effects, such as extra damage from Corrosion Scythe, Demon Hunter Sword, or Windtalker to name a few. This is one of the reasons Corrosion Scythe is a great item on MINSITTHAR. The slow effect also makes it harder for the enemy to escape from our second skill and ult, allowing us to deal more damage to them.
Never say die.
Request backup.
Whoops! Invaders. They're all dead.
An enemy has been slain.
Even though we died from this fight, I think it actually shows how good the lifesteal from Fighter Emblem is, that we almost out-sustained the Sun and won that fight. It's just going to get even better because our next item is Demon Hunter Sword, which adds even more healing for us from its passive. It also improves our overall DPS with its HP damage and attack speed. And since both of its passives are considered attack effects, we can trigger them with our second skill and out as well.
A king shall reign with righteousness and love.
Attack the turtle.
No one can stop me! The backbone of a
An
king.
ally has
As much as I would like to rotate to top lane using the river speed boost, I know that as soon as I leave my lane, that annoying monkey is going to push the turret. That's why I return to my lane to prevent that from happening. This is of course the more boring play, but it's also the play that improves the chances of winning, since we won't know if the rotation to top is going to result in anything, while I can guarantee our turret survives, while also getting guaranteed farm from minions by just going back to lane. The funny thing is that the monkey actually decided to rotate to mid, which resulted in a kill on Valentina. But this kill did not lead to any objective, while he opened up his turret to be destroyed, giving us more map control.
request back.
One trick with MINSITTHAR to really surprise the enemies is to combine the out with flicker. This extends the short range of the out dash, and gives the enemy almost no time to react. The Fanny here was lucky to escape as she cabled out before my out trapped her, but she won't be so lucky next time. Our next item is Golden Staff, completing the famous Trinity core, which includes Corrosion Scythe and Demon Hunter Sword that we've already built. Golden Staff boosts attack speed and has a passive to add bonus triggers for attack effects, such as the passives of the other two items, which makes these three items together highly synergistic. And since the healing from Demon Hunter Sword was also recently adjusted to become an attack effect, we also gain a lot of sustain. You'll see just how insane the Trinity core is on MINSITTHAR soon.
Our turret has been destroyed.
Face me! No one can stop me!
Our turret is under attack.
We can actually see the monkey at the bottom lane pushing, but I estimate that it'll be too late to save the turret now. This is why I decided to ignore him and continue helping my team to gain advantages elsewhere. This is more beneficial overall, since we're going to lose that turret anyways, so we might as well sacrifice it and gain something in return.
No retreat!
Ally has slain Thor.
They will regret this. What made this?
Request backup. Team destroy the turret.
Now that we have Golden Staff, you can see the power of the Trinity core on MINSITTHAR.
Ally has been slain.
The king's retribution! You ain't that easy.
Monster kill. Double kill.
I'll take that as an unofficial maniac. I think this fight is starting to show the power of the build already.
You destroyed a turret.
Heed my command!
Now that we have our offense covered, we also want some defensive utility. Rose Gold Meteor is an excellent choice, as it was recently adjusted to offer up to 50 hybrid defense stats based on our physical attack. This is actually a huge amount of stats. Just for comparison, a dedicated defensive item like Dominance Ice gives a base of 40 hybrid defense. We also get a shield if our HP drops below 30%, helping us to tank more damage. And to top it off, we also get some offensive stats, making Rose Gold a nice hybrid item to get.
Oh, not ready.
Death is the least of my worries.
Another trick on MINSITTHAR is to combine his first skill hook with Flicker. This makes it difficult for enemies to dodge it, but it's also fairly difficult to be accurate with this, so make sure to practice. There are a few options to go for in our last item slot, and that'll depend on game situation and enemy lineup. For this match, our team is currently dominating, and I'm the most fed of all the players. This is why I went for Windtalker, giving me even more attack speed and some move speed. But one thing to note is that Windtalker actually adds a lot of burst damage to MINSITTHAR's ult, since each of his guards can trigger Windtalker's magic damage burst effect as well. Other options that will be good to fill this last slot are Sea Halberd if you need the anti-heal, Malefic Roar if the enemies have high physical defense, and Malefic Gun if the enemy physical defense isn't too high. If you find yourself dying too much, you can also go for more defensive items such as Athena's Shield or Dominance Ice.
Killing spree.
I'd really love to have ended the game here, but the enemies have done a great job clearing the waves. We'll probably need another Lord or two to close this out.
Attack the Lord.
Death is the least of my worries. A king shall reign with righteousness.
Shut down. Enemy shot.
Seems like the enemies are scaling up and are also getting more fed. A quick check on their items confirms that they're also getting more physical defense, which is why we couldn't burst them as quickly in that fight. But there's not really a heavy focus on physical defense, so I'm going to swap Windtalker for Malefic Gun to get the physical penetration, and also to get some attack speed and improved mobility as well.
Face me! Face me!
Initiate retreat. Initiate retreat.
Loyalty, the shield of the kingdom.
At this point of the match, deaths become a lot more important since the death timers are longer. Even though we've been dominating, a bad move can easily lead to a wipeout, and the enemy can still win. This is why I'm trying to signal my team to be less arrogant and retreat. But of course, this is Mobile Legends, so it's expected to see players make stupid moves all the time. As usual, just treat those players as bots and focus on yourself. In any case, I've identified the two main threats on the enemy team to be the Granger and Soon. But I'll especially be targeting Granger, since I have the tools to stop him from escaping. You can see from this point on, I'm mostly going to be focused on taking him out.
An enemy has been slain.
I shall defend my kingdom. right.
Now we can take the Lord, but the enemy jungler is still alive and can steal, which is why I'm searching the nearby bushes for her. It seems that she's not here, but she can still enter the area easily, so I'm going to try to give vision as much as I can to help prepare for that.
A king shall reign with righteousness and
Launch
love.
attack!
Face me!
Slain! Superb AoE! Parallel Emblem. Good game!
Follow Lord. Instant kill.
Killing spree! Good game!
No,
I'm not sure what happened there, but I was pretty sure I didn't press my ult. That was a really strange leg spike. Have any of you experienced this recently?
Initiate retreat! Initiate retreat!
loyalty, the shield of the kingdom. Huh!
Normally, I'd be happy to concede the orange buff to our gold laner, but I'm not so confident with this one, so I'd rather take it and use it on my own this time. It's nothing personal, just making a decision that's going to improve the chances of the team winning.
Initiate retreat! Ally has been slain.
Behind my shield! Tear! They will regret this.
Mega kill!
I decided not to use my ult here since I don't really view this Fanny as a threat. Also, I saw that a fight was going on at top lane, so I decided to save it.
Ally has been slain. Request back! Initiate retreat!
The tougher the challenge, the sharper my spear.
Launch attack!
Strangers, they're all dead.
Sword Slayer!
Face me!
Slain! Our turret has been destroyed.
That was really close, but we survived thanks to Rose Gold giving us so much tankiness, and our build helping us to heal up just enough to live another day. By the way, if you haven't managed to get the full build yet, you should see it on the screen now so you can copy it if you want. But I hope you understand the reasoning behind the build, so you can adjust it in-game when you need to.
I I shall always stand my ground. Cha!
Request backup.
No retreat!
Instant kill!
Break play.
Initiation! Confirm AoE!
Victory!